So we know not to
All
trust
of his
them.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
But yeah.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
I wonder if there is a way to do that. It doesn't seem like there's a way to do that, because 0521,
When Stanley
there is
came to
no
a set of 2
0
open
in that
doors, he
room.
entered the door on
It's
his
only
left.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the door was open, but it closed as soon as I got to it.
Yet there was not a single person
there
there
is,
either.
once that countdown
Feeling a
has been
wave of
activated,
disbelief,
there is no way
Stanley decided to
to
go
do it
up
again.
to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley
then
walked
we go up to
upstairs
the boss's
to his
room.
boss's office.
And then we do 2... Oh! Did that door open the first time? I don't think it did. Business A strategy. Strategy. Okay. Gun to your head for a panda bear. Alright, fine. What is this? Oh, hold down. Okay. Let's go up. I'm surprised the narrator's not commented on this. I could have sworn I tried the doors the first time I went to the boss's room and they didn't open. And now for all I know I'm stuck in the lift. That did nothing. Thank you. Let's try down. The lift doesn't go anywhere. It's just for a bit of music. Okay. Which is why the narrator doesn't react to it. Fair enough.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Is New Age music calming?
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Run! Don't be calm about anything! So, the plan is to go through the mind control facility again, and this time do off rather than on. Because at the end of the day, if I try and turn it on, am I any better than the narrator?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
that escape to
Mind
keep in
Control
mind?
Facility.
Dum 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 dum. Lights.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
So then, cameras on.
Now the monitors jumped to life. Their true nature revealed.
Yeah, same things are fired.
Each bore the number of an
then-
employee in the building.
Yeah, 520 is still
Stanley's
the problem.
co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
I wonder if there is in fact 600 different cameras in this game to see all the
This
different
mind
locations.
control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
And up we go.
No. He refused to believe it.
Pirates.
He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I'm not seeing the controls that have all the different emotions on, though. Well, it doesn't matter. The mind control system power. And this time, we shall turn it off. Well, the reticle's on the screen, but I can't see anything.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
No, there is not a door behind me, I don't think. But yeah, I was just thinking, where have all my co-workers gone? Ah, screw them. Who cares? I'm going outside. Into Minecraft?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Very nice. Oh, that's an actual beating the game ending. I see. Okay. But then, of course, it's because you have followed the narrator's instructions every single time. You've gone through the left door, you've gone to the boss's room, you've gone to the mind control facility, and yet you are trapped in this hellhole still. I wonder if the narrator will comment on that.
All of his co-workers were gone.
No.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The end.
No matter
was
how
never
hard
the
Stanley
end.
looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I'm pretty sure these computer screens weren't on before. They were blanked out, and, well, I guess, yeah, like that one. They were blanked out, and now they are lit. And then, yeah, we'll do the same thing for this.
Oh,
Yeah,
please.
there we go. Same
Are
thing
you
as
really
before.
just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No, 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 no. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Awaiting input. Input received. Okay. Right. So, there's a purple input. I'm wondering whether you have to examine all of the different computers in this area before trying to go to the meeting room to say, oh hey, by the way, click these 4 different computers and another door will be unlocked. Because that is something we can look at, is to get that input received there. Or it might be you have to press the input for every computer along the way every time you spot one. But that kind of depends on which path you take, doesn't it? I kind of want to see what's over there, but I can't see from the door.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, no, that's not an input thing there. Da, 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 da.
Yet there was not a single person here.
No computers in the meeting room.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to... Oh no, oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
But if I don't take my time? Oh, I didn't say anything when it came out. Well, that's a little bit disappointing. I thought you would say something as soon as you came out. It's like, welcome back, player 2. Or player 3. Or whoever. No, fine. Right, up to the boss's room.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs
and then
to
this
his
time,
boss's office.
The goal will be... Yeah, let's check the door again. Yeah. Okay, so it is able to be opened. I just probably didn't do it properly last time. This time we have to wait for him to say 2845.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Well, yeah, okay. It's nice that the narrator's skipping ahead. Now, does he skip ahead to the other endings? Like the up, down thing, you know? I guess not. I guess that's there to help you, like, do the speedrun achievement. Say, get through the game as quickly as possible by beating it.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Well, the mind control facility did lead to the outside, which was the escape. So what does this mean?
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. Oh, that's a bit...
ominous? Violent death how? And that was very matter of fact as well. I'm not seeing any immediate...
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Fair enough. But what's the thing in front of me?
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I mean, we did just jump off, right? Off the platform. So... yep. Red light. Not often very good. What if we went backwards, though? Does he say you're a coward? Does he applaud you for making the right decision? Or does he just not say anything at all? Nothing at all. Alright, well. I assume it's probably when you get past the word escape. Or he might even say, oh, I guess the door was locked behind you. Sorry about that.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Uh-huh. And now we go back.
Nope, still on board with death.
And we go back. Oh, nothing. Okay. Maybe I need to go all the way back first, then go back. Yeah. I'm not very good with horror adjacent things. I mean, certain horror things are okay. Like, you could call Bloodborne gothic horror, right? Well, that's a third-person perspective. I don't do very well with first-person things. I'm not a fan of jump scares in general, and loud noises as scares as well. Let's see. I mean, again, everything in this game so far has been player input driven. So we're just doing one more loop back and forth to see if the narrator says anything different. Of course, we can't actually walk through the mind control facility door, but I'll try and get closer to it to see if the dialogue triggers. But yeah, so I mean, it's one thing to fall off a platform or jump off a platform to your death knowingly. Here it's the not knowing. It's the anticipation of, oh, a violent death, you say? How? What is that even possible to do? No, it's just nothing new. Okay. Oh, hello. If the light is on, call extension 914 immediately. Okay. Well, the only phone I saw was in the boss's room, and I couldn't interact with it, so we will have to leave it be, I'm afraid. Onwards to the ominous red light in the hole in the floor. That's the other thing. Holes in floors are not good to go through. Like, I think there's a psychological thing of a closed door is the scariest thing that you can think of because your imagination goes wild. A hole in the floor is probably a close second. The end is never the end. Okay.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, narrator. I will see my death straight on.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Second narrator? Hello? Well, well, well. That is a twist of a certain point. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Also, yeah, this narrator is referring to the first narrator. Where is this?
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Well, I mean, that's the distinction, right? Was he ever alive to begin with? Nature paintings. Yeah, that's certainly nature. Okay. Stanley's computer. I forget if I can actually interact with that computer right at the start. Office layout. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the 2 doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development through the core, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. So we start over here, then we go over here, and oh, it actually even tells you, yeah, like these rooms here are not actually rooms, even though you can see into them. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the 2 doors in good time. Yeah, there's a... the game design itself has to be based off of the narrator, the narrative, and the narrator's speaking. But if the narrator's speaking too quickly or too slowly, then the player could get to a certain point before they're ready. The 2 doors. The set of the 2 open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Filing cabinets. Office computers. Solitaire. Employee database. What do we have here? Can I climb this? No. The office. 1, 2, 3. Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. For the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the mind control room doesn't actually do anything. Okay. Credits. I mean, yeah, I suppose this game wouldn't have a traditional credits thing. So, The Stanley Parable, written and designed by Davey, Wreden, and William Pugh, developed by Crows. Does this have like Switch ports on? Based on the work of the Stanley Parable. 2013! That's what it was. Okay. So 2013 to 2018. Wait. Yeah. Right, okay. So 2013 is when the game came out on PC. 2022 is when the game came out on consoles. Or the Ultra Deluxe edition, at least. So that would have been just under 10 years. Okay, fair enough. Yep. That's over here. Music, sound design, Ooh, voice work. Additional voice work. Ah, here we go. The impeccable Kevan Brighting as the narrator. So who's the second narrator? Is that Leslie? Jenny? Very surprised they didn't put the second narrator on. Let's go left, I guess. The office. Maintenance room, an early version of the maintenance room. Okay. 431 to 436. A copier. Fun. Okay. Well, we certainly haven't seen these. Ultra Deluxe announcements. In December 2018, we announced the Ultra Deluxe version of the Stanley Parable at the Game Awards. These are screenshots of the videos we made for the announcement and the game's delay. Oh, okay. Wait. Oh yeah, 2018 to 2022? That's quite a long time for a game like this. Alright, Warzone. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realised shortly after starting to build it that was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Well, considering there is only an interact button and a crouch, I'm not entirely sure what interactivity they were trying to get at. Right. Well, that is unique to this version of the game then, what they just said there. Narrator emails. After the second trailer we asked people to email Narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. James Irving. How is the game going? I hope it's as good or better than the first one. From a cool man. Question. Are you a rock? Okay, I feel like some of these are fake emails. What is the strange number? 1112800. What's the significance of that? I don't think I've ever seen that number. Asking the narrator. Well, the thing I want to know is, what would you do if Stanley entered any other rooms? Okay, I guess I could see what that could be. I have burning questions on the scale of Max Ernst to Salvador Dali. How surreal will this game be? Were you born with a magnificent voice, or did you bargain with a magician to receive it? And finally, the most important question, who is Stanley's last name? Congratulations! In line with our previous announcement regarding the ongoing promotion, here is the result of the attached file. Open it carefully and see the full details of the result. Be sure to claim for your... Greetings, omnipotent voice. I want to tell you I like the Stanley Parable as much as I like seeing a humorously small badger in swim trunks. Indeed, I liked it as much as walking in the park, watching the sunset, and dare I say it, pushing buttons. Alright, there is a lot of this. Libya, 24/5, yeah.
Well, how long are you going to be streaming?
It won't be too much longer, no.
Too much longer, as in like
10 minutes, yeah. How do you type with boxing gloves on? Okay. Alright, I think we get the gist of these narrator emails. They're not real emails, they're just like little things. But yeah, so currently, Pimmsy, we are in the end game of an explorable museum, and this is like an official ending, I guess. The apartment timer. In the previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone leads to a different ending. Okay. So we got like an indication of what the endings are actually called. Cargo lift. Second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game. We wanted it to look more like a place where cargo is actually stored.
Well, I'll tell you what, just for...
Yeah. Cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, after this early version, we decided we also wanted the option of the player falling to their death. Well, we have certainly done that a couple of times. Maintenance layout. The flow of the hallways following the first two doors was important to get right, since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. Well, I mean, it always has to be. Why would you complicate it? So, one option, two options, one option, vent. Oh, there's a vent in the lounge? Or at least that's what they were thinking about doing. Yeah. Okay. So, the simplest option? So what does that actually say? Other entrance would be depending on keys you entered. Yeah, that's too complicated. Yeah, the simplest option is the best one. The meeting room. We have Zending levers. These levers were originally part of the Zending. Oh, Zen ending, right. The player would pull a lever and the narrator would describe what colour they had pulled. You can't pull these ones, unfortunately. Zending. Screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as Zending, which is eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Okay, so the Zending doesn't exist. The game is now paused. Begin again, resume, return. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this is what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Yeah, I'm not surprised, because like when you pause the game, doing things in the pause menu is always going to be a bit tricky to try and get right. Zending model. The Zending went through many iterations. This rumor represents the fourth version of the ending. We thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it shortly before launch. I mean, there's not a lot there, to be fair. Trailers! We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This first one released in May 2012. It features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator, informing viewers that he's repairing a new version of the Stanley Parable. Man, look how low res it is as well. Wow, we can't hear the narrator talking though. I like this. This is... This is an interesting thing to put in, an interactive museum of how you developed the game as it was originally, plus the new versions that you added to it. And the question is there a way to get out? Like 427, Stanley's office, from left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. First was in November 2011, second in March 2012, and the third in February 2013. Huh? Pretty standard. Oh, it's a bit flashy. Yeah, that makes more sense. Like 2 computers? You know, breaking the bank for them. Game design mock-up. This is the level that William, the level designer, sent Davey the writer as a kind of audition piece. The strength of this level got William hired to design the full game. Though much of the environment has changed, the basic layout from this mock-up is still in the game. Yeah, I can see it. Like, if a guy has an idea of an interactive walkthrough simulator, you kind of need someone that gets the idea of what the whole point of it is. And we do have an exit. So, countdown room, an early version of the countdown room. Okay. Freedom ending. This is the freedom ending as it existed in beta. Monitor room elevator. For the time, the elevator in the monitor room would go up or down with freedom above and countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it difficult to remember what was up and what was down, and placed the 2 endings together instead. Okay. Countdown desk. Early version of the countdown desk. And then that's the Zending room. And then we've got the other side of the stairs. Freedom. This was the very first incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha. So, I guess we have officially got the freedom ending, but not apartment or Zending. The boss's office. Screens from the development of the boss's office. Yeah, I think it needs the red. Like, red is often a colour that is associated with authority or royalty. I think you needed that for the boss's room as well. And then there's this room. The lounge. Underground, an early version of the underground portion of the game. Oh. I wonder why they didn't have escape in the same font then.
Does that sound plausible to you?
Kevan Brighting, the voice of the narrator, recorded dialogue for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. These are clips from early takes that were not used in the final game.
Stanley walked over the bridge.
Why is the light swinging, though?
Stanley stood on the roof.
Okay. So, like, just clips. Okay, well. Very interesting. From a... Well. Just a sort of behind-the-scenes look at things. But I think we are done. So let us carry on to the exit.
Oh, look at these 2. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Who's 2? Like, does this narrator talk about going back and forth? I can't imagine they do, because this is a very quiet museum. No? Okay, well, I guess that's what we do, is we go up to the switch and turn it from on to off. And... there we go.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these 2. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your Nintendo Switch. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
I mean, the reticle's still there. But I do wonder. No, I was wondering whether it was going to like be a stop time thing until you close the Nintendo Switch off. But no, the game does in fact continue on. but from the very start. Okay, right, that will do it for today. We are quitting to the menu, and yeah, it's like I said, it's a very interesting game. So thank you for watching. It's been an interesting experience. There is still clearly more to do, because there are at least 2 endings that we have not gotten. We've gone through the left path, we've followed what the narrator should do, and that led to freedom, also led to the nuclear explosion, and escape to the violent death, and then, you know, there's that little ending there to close the Nintendo Switch. But that'll do for today. So thanks for watching, guys. We stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, twitch.tv/RiggyRob, youtube.com/@RiggyRob. And we stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at around 9 PM UK time. So next time, we'll see what else there is in the Stanley Parable, Ultra Deluxe Edition. Because there can't be too much, you know? There are certain endings that are possible, but there's only so many branching paths. So yeah, we will find out next time. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.